George Kambosos Jr., like I said before, is the new unified champion at 135. I called it. I told you George Kambosos by unanimous decision. Let's talk about it in this video. King Jr. got another video for y'all. We have some major, super big news as the new Australian superstar boxer in George Kambosos Jr. has defeated the clout-chasing, fake undisputed champion within Teofimo Lopez tonight. I should have called that fight. I should have went live and called that fight. Kambosos was throwing the 1-2 and jab, check, left hook all night long. Kambosos was popping that jab like it was no tomorrow. He weathered the storm with Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez was landing some big shot on Kambosos Jr. And Kambosos has one hell of a chin. He took the right and left hook. There was one round that Teofimo Lopez kept throwing the right hand, and 3 of those right hands had landed on George Kambosos Jr. He has weathered the storm. As you see, the Hall of Famer Manny Pacquiao congratulates George Kambosos Jr. on his victory. This is going viral. Devin Haney, be ready to fight George Kambosos Jr. because I do not believe Teofimo Lopez has a rematch clause. We are going to get a real warrior fight between Devin Haney and George Kambosos Jr. Guys, I told you a few months ago, George Kambosos Jr. hand speed and lateral movement was going to be a problem for Teofimo Lopez. He could not adjust to the style of George Kambosos Jr. George Kambosos Jr. has an awkward type of style. Guys, I told you this from the jump. Teofimo Lopez was not beating George Kambosos Jr. And I called it, and I was absolutely right. Congratulations to the new unified champion in George Kambosos Jr. Now we're going to see what's next for George Kambosos Jr. Hopefully George Kambosos Jr. does fight Devin Haney, which I think he will, because George Kambosos Jr. wants to make more history by becoming undisputed. Let's hope that George Kambosos get these big fights done. I'm not so sure about Teofimo Lopez having a rematch clause with Bob Arum. Maybe this was a thing for Bob Arum to get back at Teofimo Lopez for colluding, step aside money and all this other stuff. I'm glad, because all you Teofimo Lopez fans says Devin Haney has no power. Teofimo Lopez is going to knock him out. Well, George Kambosos Jr. didn't have all the punching power. And look, he styled on Teofimo Lopez. He schooled Teofimo Lopez tonight. So what y'all gonna say? What is the excuses? Oh, George Kambosos, he was a slick boxer. He was in there fighting. Kambosos was running. No, I don't want to hear no excuses. And Veronica Perez, one of my favorite subscribers, let me know what you think, Veronica Perez. What do you think? What is your thoughts on this fight tonight between George Kambosos Jr. and Teofimo Lopez? I was going to Mr. Brandon Figueroa and Stephen Fulton. I just had to see Teo lose, and I got my wish come true. Teo is done. He lost, and he can go ahead and take that picture back from Canelo Alvarez, because you are not undisputed. Canelo's undisputed. You are not undisputed. Now we have a new champion in George Kambosos Jr. Teo, I'm going to break this down one more time, guys, and I'm going to get on out of here. Teofimo Lopez was starstruck. He did not look good. He couldn't figure out the hand speed of George Kambosos Jr. George Kambosos Jr. is very, very fast for his size. And Teofimo Lopez would look like he was at 140 pounds already, because Teo was looking devastating bigger against George Kambosos Jr. And Teofimo Lopez, he tried to do this tactic here to try to wear Kambosos Jr. down by throwing looping shots, which that was a bad move. And Teofimo Lopez, he just could not adjust to the foot speed, the angles, and the punch combinations from George Kambosos. I have to break that down a little bit more fluently. His punch combination was beautiful. George Kambosos Jr. was landing the jab all night long, sticking. Now, there was times that George Kambosos almost got stopped, but he weathered the storm with Teofimo Lopez. He pushed on the gas, he weathered the storm, and he beat that clout-chasing fool. But with that being said, it is what it is. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. This is your boy King Jr. I'm out of here. Peace.